The Scene on 88.1 The Park. Welcome to the fantastic new home for PCEP music, where we're going to bring you the best in Plymouth High School, Salem High School, and Canton High School bands and students that are musicians. This show is, of course, co-produced and co-presented by the In the Band Music Appreciation Studio. My name is Nick Brandon. I am the director of the In the Band Music Appreciation Studio, which is at the Plymouth Arts and Recreation Complex, the new home for PCEP musicians to come and have rehearsals and hone your craft if you're a student musician in our community. We'll talk more about the studio later. It's going to be a great show today, very action-packed. We got lots of music for you from Hilltop Drive and Floodwaters and Binya Howard, and of course me and the dog. And we also are fortunate enough today to have the band Cup in studio, and we're going to hear a couple songs from them and get to know those guys a little bit more. We heard from Cup last month at our first edition of The Scene, and we were certainly intrigued by their sound and want to learn more about them, which we will today. The In the Band Music Appreciation Studio was kind of shut down for the month of September, but we're back up and running. It's been a good week for us in the studio. We had the Junior High Cheer Squad in this week, and before you think we're really weird, that is the name of a band. It's a band with Keegan Weaver and George Rafka, and it's a very promising band that we'll talk more about later, because this is a group that will be playing a show with our in-studio guest Cup very soon, in fact, tomorrow. So the studio's rocking, we're rocking here at 88.1 The Park, and it's time to get into some music. So we're going to start today where we left off last month here on The Scene on 88.1 The Park. Here is Hilltop Drive with I Hope You're Listening.
Mascara's drawn The new 88.1, The Park.
I'm killing my insides while you're kissing my outsides. My body's sick, but that's okay. I never wanted kids anyway. I wake up to a message from your dead self. You felt sorry, so you said something that you thought might help. But cancer's here and your hair is not. I guess your hair wasn't the biggest loss. But cancer's here and your hair is not. But I guess your hair wasn't the biggest loss. I'm back, but only for a little. Let me lie, but only for a little. I'll hurt you, it'll only hurt a little. I'll hurt you, it'll only hurt a little. I'm the guy with no hands, you're the girl with no eyes. I'm the man who you shot with every one of your lies. I'm the cancer, the sickness, you're the body that left you. I'm an angel and devil, you're the mother who wants you. I'm back, but only for a little. Let me lie, but only for a little. I'll hurt you, it'll only hurt a little. I'll hurt you, it'll only hurt a little. I'm back, but only for a little. Let me lie, but only for a little. I'll hurt you, it'll only hurt a little. I'll hurt you, it'll only hurt a little. I'm back, but only for a little. Let me lie, but only for a little. I'll hurt you, it'll only hurt a little. I'll hurt you, it'll only hurt a little. It'll only hurt a little.
Floodwaters with A Little here on The Scene on 88.1 The Park. Before that, we heard from Hilltop Drive with I Hope You're Listening. I have to admit, Floodwaters is a band that's not around anymore, and I kind of wish they were. That's a very interesting sound that they have there with A Little. The previously mentioned George Rafka, who we'll talk about later, as he's going to be our next in-studio guest here on The Scene. But let's focus on our current in-studio guest today. We got the band Cup in studio today. We got Theron Farmer, Sean Hussett, Hayden Kuzmano, and your drummer. The poor drummer doesn't get to be allowed to be here. You know, drummers, it's hard for them to do radio appearances, right? It's hard to get a set of drums in this studio. But Joe Jankowski, all students at the park. We got a mix of juniors and sophomores here. Guys, welcome to The Scene.
Hi.
So let's start with just talking about kind of the beginnings of Cup. We played you guys last month, and it was one of those moments in the studio where we all kind of looked at each other like, wow, this is a very cool sound. It's kind of an indie rock thing. Tell us about the beginnings of the band, and I know Theron and Hayden, you guys were kind of instrumental in the beginnings. Tell us about it.
We've just been playing music together since 6th grade, and yeah, I guess like from when we first started playing together, we noticed that we liked a lot of the same music, and yeah, a lot of like 80s new wave bands have been really inspirational to us.
Yeah, I've always been into new wave and stuff. Like me and Theron, we met because we were both in a sixth grade band class, and I saw him with a yellow submarine sweatshirt, and I talked to him about it, and it kind of started off the band and our friendship. When we've been pretty good friends ever since then.
So like many bands, the Beatles brought you guys together.
Yeah, honestly, because I saw his shirt, and I was just like, yeah, the Beatles are pretty cool.
A little bit.
The Beatles are pretty cool. I would agree with that.
Yeah,
sure.
the Beatles are cool.
What school did you guys go to, 6th grade?
We went to West.
Yeah, me and Theron went to West.
Nice, okay. So it was actually band class that kind of jump-started this whole thing, and of course the yellow submarine shirt.
Yeah.
Nice, that's cool. And then when did it kind of grow into the band that it is now? I mean, I know that all the way back to 6th grade would show the beginning of a friendship and a musical relationship, but in terms of adding some of the current members, and when did Cup really get going?
Well, for the most part, when we were in 7th grade, like 7th and 8th grade, we were really getting it going, and like we started finding a lot of new music that we were trying to not necessarily imitate, but we were taking more inspiration from new alternative bands that we were listening to. And for the majority of last year, we didn't really play together. But probably last July, June, we started playing together again. It's a lot of fun, and we remembered how much fun it was and decided to do it again.
I love the influences that you guys have in terms of 80s new wave. It's one of those eras of music that it's nice to hear high school students understand that era, because it's one that is more significant to music than a lot of younger people know. What is it that you guys like about that particular era of pop and rock music?
Well, I particularly like dark wave, like The Cure, Echo and the Bunnymen, Smiths, all that kind of like darker stuff. That's kind of what I'm into, and I've always kind of liked like New Order, and just like really just dug that type of dark wave sound. That's what I really like about like new wave.
I think I really like how that stuff was going on in one section of the world while a whole different kind of pop music was happening in a different kind of the world.
It's nice. It's a nice reminder of what the alternative is. You know, it's a little bit like today. I mean, we've got this mainstream with all this kind of crap that's going on that a lot of people listen to, but there's these other pockets of music that are less popular but are equally or more important, certainly. And that's what alternative music is really supposed to be, I think. Mm-hmm. Cool. And you guys certainly embody that in your sound. And we're going to hear some music from you here in studio. You guys have an upcoming show actually tomorrow that we'll talk about a little bit later. I want to learn a little bit more about what a Cup show is like, what people could expect when they see. But for now, let's go to an in-studio performance. This will be the first of 2 songs that you guys are going to play for us today. So it's a real treat to have you guys here, and we're going to talk more about music and hear more from you guys. But for now, let's turn to Cup in studio live with the song Table. Take it away, boys.
All right. 1, 2, 1. There's no such thing as rock and roll. Bless my reptilian soul. Jesus died on the cross so I could quit my job. Your pain is poison grace. What a shame, Mary Jane. Believe and be fulfilled. Prophecies of diet pills.
Excellent. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
That was great. Tell me a little bit more about that song, Theron.
You know, I like most of the songs I write. I just wrote it in class.
Yeah, I see a lot of journals there and writes. It's just a lot of them just have a lot of lyrics in them. It's kind of cool that he does that. Like I kind of just write like guitar parts mainly. Like I'll just like write like tab out, but like it's kind of cool seeing Theron's journals sometimes, even from like middle school. He has a bunch of like lyrics in them. I think that's pretty dope.
Yeah, definitely. And Sean, I know you're the new guy in the band, but don't think I wasn't hearing what you were doing over there on the acoustic bass. When did you join the band, Sean?
I joined the band not too long ago.
Few months.
Few months, yeah.
Yeah. You're the new guy.
Yeah, I'm the new guy in the band.
Nice. You're the lucky one that got to join these guys. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm very honored.
Absolutely. And people will be honored tomorrow if they go to you guys' show. It'll be Cup, Junior High Cheer Squad, and I think 3 other bands that are going to play tomorrow night in Northville. It's a free show. It's at 100 West Dunlap, which is the American Legion Hall. And very cool that people can come check you guys out for free. So all they got to do is show up. What time are doors opening?
Doors are at 5.
5. And then where are you guys playing in the order? Do you know that?
I think we're playing around 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
About second to last band.
Second to last. Cool. And who's the last band playing? Do you know?
A band from South Lyon called Wellman.
Okay, great. So the park will be well represented with Cup and Junior High Cheer Squad at tomorrow night's show. We want to remind all listeners right now here on the scene on 881 The Park that 881 The Park has gift certificates, or gift cards, I should say, that they're giving away right now to Buca de Beppo now that it's homecoming time, $25 gift cards, and we will have some kind of opportunity to win that here coming up on the show here on 881 The Park. Let's get into you guys' influences. The thing we like to do when we have bands here in studio is talk about some influences, which you actually already have, but then play a couple songs. So in the case, I'm always so curious as to what we're going to get from artists, and you guys chose 2 songs that I thought were fascinating choices, frankly, for a high school band to choose. The first one, "Come On Eileen" by Dexy's Midnight Runners. Theron, I know that this one is one that you chose and was near and dear to your heart. Tell us about why you chose this one.
I think I listened to this song for the first time when I was maybe 10 or 11. I remember my dad playing it, and it was just such a dynamic song, and it hasn't really necessarily influenced my sound, but it's definitely influenced my music, like wanting to do it, just because it's a great song, and it's, it just makes me think about it.
Get all dancing done.
Yeah.
Every time this song comes on, I bust out a couple moves myself.
As a drummer too, this song, as goofy as it is actually rhythmically very adventurous. I mean, it goes through like 5 different tempo changes through the song. And with all of its kind of upbeat, danceable funness, it actually is a very interesting song musically too.
Yeah, and it was definitely a different kind of song for the time it was released.
No doubt about it. And typical kind of, a lot of people see Dexy's Midnight Runners as like a one-hit wonder, but if you get into some of their other material, it's actually pretty interesting. Some of their like album work is pretty cool. So, Theron, I know that was big for you. And then I'm wearing my New Order shirt tonight, boys. This is a tribute to you. Bizarre Love Triangle is a song that I absolutely love. Hayden, tell us about why that one was chosen.
This song is a straight banger. I love this song. It's like very like new wavy, which is like my favorite type of like music, and it's also kind of like danceable, like "Come On Eileen," and it's just like this like type of like dark wave stuff really kind of put an inspiration on my playing, just kind of like very melodic, and like I think it's very melodic personally. Like it's kind of like it doesn't like have any like crazy like solos or anything. It's just like straight to the point. I really like this song a lot.
Very direct, yeah.
Yeah.
From Joy Division to New Order, we will hear Bizarre Love Triangle. But first, we're going to hear Dexy's Midnight Runners, "Come On Eileen." It is the Influences segment here on the scene on 881 The Park. That is one amazing song. And it was chosen by the guys from Cup who are joining me here in studio on the scene on 881 The Park. Boys, I can never get enough New Order. So thank you for choosing that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, that was an awesome choice. And I can never get enough Joy Division either. And I have to say, while that song was playing, we were having quite a good conversation here in studio about those 2 legendary and amazing bands. And we were even speculating on what New Order would have been like if Ian Curtis would have lived, and all sorts of cool musical topics. So appreciate the conversation, boys. You guys play tomorrow night at American Legion Hall in Northville. Tell me what a Cup live show is like. What do you guys aim to be if people go and see Cup and they leave? What do you want them to say about the experience?
I just want everyone who sees us to feel like they've had a good time, feel like they've had some energy put into them. Generally, we're pretty loud.
Yeah, we get kind of loud sometimes, but I think you could be able to deal with it. Like I personally would think it'd be cool for like people to like see us and like be like, "Hey, I've never really actually heard or seen anything kind of like that." Like our visual like appearance isn't like that cool, but like I will be bringing an electric kazoo to play, and it's gonna be really cool.
An electric kazoo.
It is. Yes, it's very cool, and I will be bringing it.
You're only gonna get that from Cup, ladies and
Only
gentlemen.
from Cup.
An electric kazoo. It stood out very early on hearing you guys that you are a unique band. This is not something where you guys have copied yourself after anybody else.
I think like I wouldn't say we're a strange band, but we're a pretty strange band.
We get pretty weird.
We are pretty strange.
We got like a lot of inspiration from like some math rock groups like Invalids and Tiny Moving Parts. Yeah, they're pretty sweet. And This Town Needs Guns. Like they're all kind of like cool, like math rock bands that we get a lot. I personally get a lot of inspiration out of. But yeah, I mean, I think it would be really cool for people to just see us and be like, Man, I haven't really seen a live show like that or heard one in like quite a while or ever.
Yeah, I mean, the reality is in music and in art, weird is good, right? I mean, if you look at music history, it's the weird bands that set trends and did interesting things. It's not the people that came along and did what 20 people before them have done, right?
Yeah, like if you want to see Black Sabbath and like if you see a show and it's just like them just like hanging out playing music, it's pretty cool. But when you see Ozzy bite the head off of a bat, then that's like way cooler Sabbath show.
You know, it is interesting, though, for all that Ozzy has done musically, and he's done a lot. I mean, Sabbath, one of the great bands of all time, and Ozzy, phenomenal. But he gets more attention for biting the head off the bat.
Definitely.
That's what most people know him for. But if I have a piece of advice for Cup, guys, don't bite the head off a bat.
Wasn't planning on that.
All right,
Yeah,
good.
Some shout-outs.
All right, so what we're going to do right now is we are going to go to our The Scene Rewind segment. Boys, this is where we take a look back to the past of PCEP music. And it's important for you guys to know that there were others who came before you and even before me who kind of created a music scene here at the park, and a lot of bands, endless names. And I'm going to bring in Bill Keith, station director at 881 The Park, here to talk a little bit, because what we're going to play today, Bill, is one of the great bands really in park history, Liquid Plumber. What was your kind of memories of this group?
Well, these guys were here back in the mid-'90s, and three of the four were staff members here at 88.1. So I just remember when they were playing and we heard their music. I think we started playing their song Felt before they even had released any recordings, and then they released their CD, which was just called Good.
That's awesome.
And I just remember thinking, wow, that's cool. This band that goes to high school here has an actual CD.
Yeah.
It was way before the days when everyone could burn a CD in their basement. They had to get it pressed and packaged, and it was a real impressive recording for a bunch of high school kids back in the 90s.
It was. Bill, you and I were spending some time before the show talking about that fact. These guys were a couple years older than me, and it was such a big deal that they had an album, and it was pressed onto a CD. It was like, oh my goodness, and it had cover art and a jewel case. It was just like the most wondrous thing in the world that these guys that go to high school with me could have an actual album. And they headlined kind of all the big shows, the rock bashes and the things we used to do back in the 90s here at the park. So Liquid Plumber was a big deal, and they're going to be a big deal right here on the Scene Rewind segment. We're going to play Halftones, and as Bill Keith mentioned, the song Felt, which was sort of their single, I guess you might want to call it. Here on 881 The Park, here is Liquid Plumber on the Scene Rewind.
I was born in Ann Arbor at St. Joseph's Hospital. They told my mother I was a baby boy. She wasn't too happy when they told her that. She already had one, she was hoping I was flat. She wanted a half-tone, not a baby boy. 53 lines per inch, 300 DPI. Nothing real, nothing she could feel, just a two-dimensional illusion of She wanted a halftone. When I was in the 5th grade, I hated my school. I just wanted to be a halftone, just wanted to be cool. I would pretend I was two-dimensional. My friend just laughed and told me I was fat. I wanna be a halftone when I grow up. 53 lines per inch and 300 DPI. Nothing real, nothing you could feel. Just a pattern of dots at different sizes. I wanna be a halftone. When I was 17, I was an angry youth. And to tell you the truth, I wanted to die. Everybody told me, my teachers and my friends, my parents and their parents, you'll never be a halftone.
39, no longer want to die. The past 20 years I've been enjoying my life, and looking forward to the rest. 'Cause when I retire, I'm gonna be a half-tone until my death.
The new 88.1 The Park.
Roger lived with the beavers, who fed him food and kept him warm. Laughed at by the neighbors, who didn't see their own insanity. Felt was the handle on his door, until somebody sold him the wrong set of keys. And he noticed he had no hands, and then felt didn't do anything anymore. Roger wore nice stockings, made of felt with a fine, fine sheen. But 4 to 5 weeks later, they didn't look too clean. Felt was the handle on his door, until somebody sold him the wrong set of keys. And he noticed he had no hands, and then felt didn't do anything anymore. Roger spoke to the beavers, they didn't understand a word he said. He went crazy with a cleaver, and he wound up dead. Oh, what was the handle on his door, till somebody sold him the wrong set of keys. And he noticed he had no hands, and then felt didn't do anything anymore. Roger lived with the beavers, Roger lived with the beavers, Roger lived with those beavers, but he don't know more. Roger wore nice stockings, Roger wore nice stockings. He wore really nice stockings, but he don't know more. He don't know more. No, he don't know more. He don't know more. He don't know more.
And welcome back to The Scene on 88.1 The Park. Boys, that was Liquid Plumber. And if you cast your minds back to the mid-90s, that was the most popular band here at PCEP. I want to get you guys' take on what you heard there. Sean, what were your thoughts on Liquid Plumber?
I liked them. I see why they were so popular. They gave me like a Dead Milkman kind of vibe.
And I'm just impressed that you guys know the Dead Milkman. It's impressive.
My mom gave me a Big Lizard in my backyard, the record, and it was the original press, and I'm like, that's so sick.
Your mom gave you that?
Yeah.
You officially have the coolest mom ever. Yeah, that's awesome.
My mom's really cool, I'm not going to lie.
That's really cool. Hayden, what did you think of Liquid Plumber?
I think that they were really good, honestly. Like, I was listening to the guitar parts, and they weren't just, like, 3-chord progressions. Like, I saw, like, some cool, like, lead parts as well as some cool chords, but I thought they were really dope. I really liked them.
Cool. And Theron, you get the final call. What did you think of them?
Not too shabby.
3 iconic words by Theron Farmer.
Very nice.
They were kind of into They Might Be Giants and the Pixies, too, if I remember.
I'm not surprised.
And Smashing Pumpkins. And
it's amazing how every high school band you can kind of put into this indie rock thing. It's awesome, really, because there's so many great bands in that scene. And certainly, Bill Keith, those are good connections to Liquid Plumber and the era that they came from. Gosh, I miss the mid-90s. What a great era in music. But so is the 2010s, and so is the band Cup, who's here in studio. Boys, tell me about kind of the future. What does the coming months and years and millenniums hold for this particular band? What do you guys hope to do?
Well, we just hope to play just a lot more shows in, like, the local scene area, and, like, eventually it would be kind of cool to get out of state, like Ohio or Chicago or anything like that. But right now, our school is our priority. My mom makes that very clear all the time. So probably gonna be staying in Michigan for at least like a couple more years. But even Sean is a junior, and so is Joe. So maybe they'll be able to get us out easier. I don't even know. I'm
Yeah.
all I know is my mom's very into my school being my top priority.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
My whole upbringing was my dad saying school comes first, drums come second. And I had to follow his advice no matter what I thought. So I did. And thank you, Dad, for that advice. It helped. And I was luckily able to do okay at both. Tell me about being part of the scene. You know, we call this show that. Actually, Keegan Weaver very indirectly named this show because he just referred to the bands at the park as the scene. And very ironically, we used to call it the same thing. So what do you guys think of the current kind of music scene at the park and the diversity of artists and the kind of different groups that people can get into here? It seems like a scene that's kind of united, and there's a lot of musicians here that get along well, and there's actually a lot of bands with interchangeable members. So tell me what it's like to be part of that. Theron, why don't you tell us your thoughts?
Well, for the most part, it's just really nice being a part of a community of musicians who support each other and help each other out most of the time. Yeah, it's really nice to have other people who you can connect with musically, and it's really interesting how a common love for music can bring everyone together.
For sure.
I think it's pretty neat too, to just be like able to go to some type of show and just like see all your friends from the scene, be like, hey, what's up, and just like get like up to date with like all of their bands, like recent like recordings and stuff, and just like talk to them about that. And I think it's just really nice to just be like all part of like one. I think we're kind of like alternative like derived, like all of our like music, in my opinion, is for the most part just like alternative type of like either goes from like Addington Lane type of like stuff and like Cup kind of like electric to like even some type of like Tiger's Jaw type of acoustic stuff. Like Ellie Collins is pretty cool, and Binya and Keegan, like all their like solo acoustic, I think is really nice. But it's really cool to be kind of this type of scene.
I think another really big thing about like just like the community of musicians is that like the shows we put on are almost 100% of the time DIY. We set them up ourselves.
100%.
I think that's a really cool thing you guys are doing, is that kind of DIY feel of the shows. You know, I know you're looking for that in the venues that you play at, and you want it to be just kind of very grassrootsy and homegrown. You know, the In the Band Music Appreciation Studio is kind of there for you guys. You know, that's the whole point of this studio, is to give you guys a home, because I remember music being the best part about being at the park. It was being in bands and having those bands be friends with each other and interchangeable, and one guy's the drummer for this band and the bass player for another band. And so the studio is meant to be a place where musicians from the park can come and take advantage of it, and we hope that you guys do for sure. Let's take advantage of hearing a couple more local songs, and it's good that Hayden kind of talked about Binga Howard and Keegan Weaver, because that's exactly who we have coming up. We're going to hear from the great Binga Howard first with The Golden Age, and then we'll hear from the other way around. I apologize. Thank you, Bill Keith, for keeping me on track. We are going to hear from Me and the Dog, a.k.a. we all know Keegan Weaver with Need, and then we will hear from Binga Howard with The Golden Age here on The Scene on 88.1 The Park.
Words that come out of your mouth make me feel so happy, but make me doubt your sanity and your love for anybody else. Oh, the words that come out of your mouth make me feel so happy, but stop the drought that's been welling up in each of the corners of my eyes. And oh, how I love these words, but oh, how I cry as I watch and I pray just to watch you become more and more blind. Don't tell me that I'm all you need, 'cause I'm not the one. The truth is what you need is a father and son. So don't tell me that I'm all you want, 'cause I'm coming undone, watching you fall apart and thinking that this is fun. Oh, the words that come out of your mouth become more and more the more time runs out, and you feel as if you are missing something. Oh, the words that come start to doubt us. And the problem is, oh, the problem is, you think the thing you're missing is me. And oh, how I love these words, but oh, how I cry as I watch and I pray just to watch you become more and more blind. No, don't tell me that I'm all you need, 'cause I'm not the one. The truth is what you need is a father and son. So don't tell me that I'm all you want, 'cause I'm coming undone, watching you fall apart and thinking that this is fun. And I told you I'd never give up on you, but I'm slowly losing hope as I watch you dig this hole deeper and deeper with not enough road. And I told you I'd never give up on you, but just look at the mess that you've made. You make me feel so good yet so bad, 'cause you're lost and I can't say. I told you I'd never give up on you, but I'm slowly losing hope as I watch you dig this hole deeper and deeper with not enough rope. And I told you I'd never give up on you, but just look at the mess that you've made. You make me feel so good yet so bad, 'cause you're lost and I can't see. So don't tell me that I'm all you need, 'cause I'm not the one. No, the truth is what you need is a father and son. No, don't tell me that I'm all you want, 'cause I'm coming undone, watching you fall apart and thinking that this is fine.
From Heritage Park to Kellogg Park to Hines Park, this is the new 88.1 The Park.
She was everything I wanted and everything I needed, just like my cup of tea that I barely needed. And I wake up with me next to you.
That was our good friend Keegan Weaver. And by good friend, I mean to the scene and the In the Band Music Appreciation Studio, or as he calls himself, Me and the Dog with Need. After that, we heard Bingy Howard with The Golden Age. Keegan Weaver will definitely yell at me if I don't mention that you can follow him on Twitter and Instagram under Me and the Dog 9. You can check out his music on Bandcamp, as well as our in-studio guest Cup. I know that that's a place where people can check out you guys' music as well. I want to thank you guys so much for coming in and for the conversation, and above all for being great musicians here at the park. We really appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, it's been a great time being here. Thanks a lot for having us. Real quick, I want to shout out my mom. Thank you. I want to shout out my sister who's listening in from South Carolina. Shout out John Meyer for music.
Yes, shout out to my parents too if we're gonna be doing this, and yeah, it's my parents mainly because they help me buy all my stuff, and that's really cool.
It's very cool. Sean, any shout outs?
Yeah, just my family and all my friends that have supported me throughout the entire way.
Yeah. I want to give a shout out to Hayden's mom for buying him Dead Milkmen records.
Yeah, she gave it to me. Like, it was like hers, like back in the 90s, and I'm like, she like gave it to me like 2 years ago, and I just listened to it like 5 times, and I was like, man, this is awesome.
That is awesome. Yeah, that is really cool. You better thank her for that all the time.
Oh yeah.
Shouts out In the Band.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shouts out OST Energy.
What's that?
My dad's company.
Shouts out Channel 4.
I want to shout out I want to shout out to Cup for being in studio. Thank you guys. In our October show, we're going to welcome in George Rafka from Floodwaters and the new band Junior High Cheer Squad. He's going to play some songs in studio, join us for an interview. So we look forward to sitting down with George, but we're not quite done yet here on the scene. We got one more song, and it's a cover song.
Oh yeah.
I look forward to this, boys. I got to say, because I don't really like the original of this song, but I have a feeling I'm going to like Cup's version of it.
I'm sure you will.
So we're not even going to say what the song is because you know what? People are going to recognize it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's got Cup's unique spin on it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
We want to thank everybody for joining us and dropping into the scene here for our September show. Join us again in late October. Again, George Rafka will be joining us here on 88.1 The Park. Special thanks, and one person we need to shout out to, boys, is the great Bill Keith, station manager here at 88.1 The Park, for allowing In the Band Music Appreciation Studio to present the scene to you guys. The best in PCP music. Cup, take it away and take us out with this mysterious cover song.
All right.
Here on 88.1 The Park.
I got enough. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Somebody once told me the world was gonna roll me. I ain't the sharpest tool in the shed. She was looking kinda dumb with her finger and her thumb in the shape of an L on her forehead. Well, the years start coming, they don't stop coming back to the roads, and I hit the ground running. Didn't make sense not to live for fun. Your brain gets smart, but your head gets dumb. So much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? You never know if you don't go. You never shine if you don't glow. Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get the show on, get paid. And
All that glimmers is
gold. Only shooting stars break the mold.
It's a cool place, and they say it gets colder. You're bundled up now, wait till you get older. But the media man begs to differ, judging by the hole in the satellite picture. The ice we skate is getting pretty thin. The water's pretty warm, so we might as well swim. My world's on fire, how about yours? That's the way I like it, and I never get bored.
Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get the show on, get paid. And all that glitters is gold. Only shooting stars break the mold.
Sean, with the whistle.
Somebody once asked me to spare some change for gas. I gotta get myself away from this place. I said, yeah, what a concept. I could use a little fuel myself, and we could all use a little change. Well, the years start coming and they don't stop coming. Back to the roads and I hit the ground running. Didn't make sense not to live for fun. Your brain gets smart, but your head gets dumb. So much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back streets? You never know if you don't go. Go! Never shine if you don't glow. Hey now, you're an all-star. Get your game on, go play. Hey now, you're a rock star. Get your go on, get paid, and all that glitters is gold. Only shooting stars break the mold.
Thanks again to everyone for dropping into the scene on 88.1 The Park. The first caller right now to 734-416-7745 will win that $25 gift card to Buca di Beppo. Once again, the first caller, 734-416-7745. You get $25 for some good Italian food at Buca di Beppo. Thanks for dropping in. Cup, thank you guys for being here. We'll see you next time.
WSDP Plymouth. 88.1 The Park News Update.
Leaves all over the yard are a welcome sign to many that fall is finally arriving. But cleaning this up can be a challenge.